again, this just comes back to your future is in your hands, and your schools will, and your teachers, your guidance counselors, whoever will only give you as much information as they're able to give you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do the research and you have to take it into your own hands. Hey everyone, it's Big Sis
And Lil Sis.
Let's discuss post-secondary.
Before we jump in, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Now let's get into it.
Okay, so before we jump into this, Mel and I and my sister, my real Lil Sis, we had like a paint night the other day, and we all painted pictures. Mel, you want to share yours?
Sure. So I wanted to do some sort of body painting. This is what I did. I'll put it up a little bit more. I actually really like it. It was supposed to be a 1-day thing, and it took 2.5, but it's okay. Because it's done now. But yeah, that was mine.
I did a body painting as well, but it's already in my room up on the wall, so I'm not taking it down. This was like a cement project that I started working on when I first moved into this condo, and I moved in here like 2 years ago, and I finished it, cemented it and everything. Like I built the structure from scratch, and then I just left it alone, and like it bounced from my house to Mel's house thinking that I was gonna finish it or do it, and I never did. And I don't know, I got inspired when I did the painting that I have in my room because it came out so nice, and I was like, I need to finish this one. So I made like a 3D scorpion body.
So cool.
Because I'm Scorpio, and I've decided to make the back black and the body gold. I do love the gold as it is now, however, it is very gold. So I'm going to try to make it look a little more of a darker vintage gold. So that's what I'm going to be doing while we talk about post-secondary. But I'm going to let Mel take on this one for a little bit because she is
starting soon.
Yeah.
So we thought that this would be a good topic to talk about right now because, you know, us 2007 babies, we're going into university or college or whatever you choose to do after high school, right? This is a big eye opener. This is a big time in your life, period. Right? Yeah. So I was talking to sister and I'm like, hey, maybe we should talk about this because, you know, she already went through the whole process. She graduated and I'm going into it. So like, you know, kind of seeing the difference. Kind of ease some stress off of you guys and me because it is scary. Honestly, like if you're like me, like you're excited, but at the same time you're like, damn, like I don't know what to do because this feels a little too real. So I'm going to tell you guys how it feels from my point of view and then kind of like how it was for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, honestly, I'm really scared, as I said, but at the same time I'm like, well, like this is a chance for me, not a chance, but this is a time for me to finally, you know, grow up, step out of my comfort zone, figure out what I figure out what I want to do. And that doesn't mean like I'm not taking that as in I'm set, this is what I'm gonna do, but at the same time just figuring out what I want to do in my future and figuring out what is right for me, figuring out what I like, things like that. But I have heard a lot of fun things about first year, and especially the program that I got into and the one I'm going to be attending. It seems very fun and it seems like something I really enjoy. It's mainly humanities, which I really, really like. So that's what I'm excited about. How was your first year?
Okay, so for me, when I graduated high school, I had applied to 3 different schools. I applied to, I applied to Lakehead University and Brock University, and there was one other school that I applied to. I don't remember the name of it, but all the schools I applied to were, Laurier. I applied to Laurier, the school I went to. They were all very far away from home. Obviously I didn't accept Lakehead or Brock. I accepted Laurier because I thought that was the program that best fit what I was going into. I think we touched on this before. Like, I wanted to be a police officer right out of high school, and I just needed to get my BA, and I was taking my BA in communications. So I thought that the program that I was going to take at Laurier was the correct communications program based on the research that I did. As, like, the time got closer, because I also was going to live on res for my first year, as the time got closer, I got more and more nervous, and I was trying to tell my mom, like, I'm not ready. I don't want to go. I want to defer for a year. they're like, no, it'll be fine. Like, you go, you're just like nervous. So for me, I went to school and I tried it out. Like, we had Frosh Week. Frosh Week was cool. Was a lot of partying, was a lot of drinking, and like that was cool for the first week. Then I went to school. I went to started going to my classes, and I very quickly realized that the program that I had signed up for was not, in fact, the right program. And I was a little young when I started. I mean, not too young, like, because my birthday's in November, so I turn the age that everybody is already in when they start school. Yeah, for me it was really tough. Like, I was having a really tough time. When they put you in your like residential spaces, when they assign you their places, they assign you based on other students who are in your program. That way it helps facilitate like a study environment, so you can study with other students that are taking the same or similar classes to you, and you can like make friends and stuff like that, especially if like you're going there without knowing anybody at all.
Did they do like a personality test kind of thing too?
No,
really?
It's just based off of your program.
I've heard a lot of things lately about how they're making people take like personality tests, like to best fit, who you would align with as a roommate.
Oh, no, never heard that.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good thing.
I also didn't have a roommate. I had a single room.
Okay, that makes sense.
I had a single room and a shared bathroom with another person. Yeah. So, I mean, all the kids on my party, like, this was the first month that I was there. After Frosh Week, the kids on my floor, they were just still partying all the time. And I'm like, dude, like, y'all don't want to study?
Do some school.
Y'all don't want to, like, do some academic things?
Do what you came here for.
They didn't want to, which was fine, because, like, I'm a better solo studier, like we had mentioned in Mel's study tips in our video for that. But after a month, I started feeling a lot of pressure. I felt like I'm going to be stuck in this program that is not helping me excel in what I thought my next steps were in my career, in my chosen career. And I ended up dropping all of my classes. I dropped all of my classes and I told nobody what it is that I was doing. And I think I stayed on res for like a week and a half. And during that time, like, I got severely depressed. I was having a lot of anxiety. I was having migraines, like actual migraines, like 1,000 out of 10 migraine every single day. Like, I was extremely stressed out because, one, I was like worried what's gonna happen to school, what's gonna happen to OSAP, what's my mom gonna say, what's my uncle gonna say, like, how is my family gonna react to the decision that I made, and I consulted no one for. Yeah, I was going through a lot, and how my family perceived the way that I was communicating with them raised a red flag, which in hindsight, when I look back at it, it really did, because what I was like, I wasn't saying anything like concerning, I was just talking too much. And your mom was actually one person who was like, I don't think Tora's okay, like, she's being really weird. Then I finally told my mom, I called my mom one day, I was like, I'm coming home this weekend, but I'm not coming back. I dropped all my classes and I'm no longer enrolled in the school. And they were like, what the hell? So my uncle actually helped me move me in there, and then had to come back and move all my stuff out. It was like a really rough transition for me. And it was just solely because I wasn't happy, and I really, truly felt like I wasn't ready. And I told them 1,000 times, I will be going back to school, because I'm not the type of person, never have been the type of person, to just
quit.
Oh, wait, on my own preference, not to say that anybody else who doesn't go to school or chooses to leave school and not go back to school is any other type of way. Me, personally, I knew that, like, not furthering my education was not an option for me. I was going to do it, and I planned to do it. I just wasn't ready in that moment. I told them 1,000 times, I'm going back to school. Whether I go to school here or I go to school in New York, I'm going to school. It's happening. But I need a beat. I need to figure out and research this better to, like, make sure that this doesn't happen again to me. And I took the year off. I worked. I was just hanging around.
I didn't know you took a whole year off. I thought you went straight into it.
No, I didn't enroll back until the following year. So I was applying to schools in New York as well, and then I said if my home school here accepts me, then I won't be going to New York. And my home school obviously did accept me, and I ended up staying here and going to York. And then I finished my BA. Instead of 4 years, I did 5 years, because my first 2 years I did full term, and then my last 2 years I did it part-time, because my first 2 years I was also working like a full-time job and going to school, and it was very rough, but I did it. And my last 2 years, I was like, I need to take it a little bit slower. So my last 2 years became 3 years because I did it part-time. But I'm really glad that I went back to school. My opinion on that now, currently, is different. But, I mean, I think it's important for people to know that if you feel like you're not ready, that this is something that you're investing in. I mean, obviously, like, if you're not paying for it, your parents are obviously paying for it. But I think it's very important to be able to articulate how you feel and be like, this is a massive investment that either I'm making or you're making, and I want to make sure that I'm making the correct decision. That the time that I've had thus far hasn't prepared me to be where I need to be right now, and I think I need a minute to prepare myself so I can be successful in my academic, journey that I'm taking on. But how do you feel about this? I mean, I can touch more on how I feel about it now, but I just want to know how you're feeling now that, you still have to accept one of your offers. Like, I mean, you know what you want right now, but she still has until June to accept her offer. So how is it that you're feeling that's a lot of pressure even to just pick the path that you're about to take?
Because you're like, what if you take the wrong one, right?
Exactly.
So my issue right now is that I wanted I got into all 3 of the ones that I applied to, but now came the hard part of figuring out the 2 out of the 3 that I wanted to go to the most. I had a specific order, but then I was also thinking about distance. I was thinking about the program. I'm thinking about, like, which one's going to benefit me more, because I want to go into law in the future. And I was thinking, like, if you are thinking of pursuing the same career, you may be thinking the same, like, what is going to properly prepare me enough for law school. But then I also realized that, nothing will really prepare you for law school. But as much as it's bad to say, take the easiest thing that you can to get your GPA up. But at the same time, don't take something stupid that's not going to teach you anything about law. And then, especially if you know that you want to go into law school, right? But my biggest issue was picking one of the 2. And I've finally kind of set my mind up to choose which offer that I want. For sure. And I know which one I want, and I'm going to accept it. But something in me is really, really, really holding me back, and I do not know what it is. And I think it's fear. I do think it's fear. I know I have to accept one of them, but I don't know why I'm waiting last minute. But no, I'm gonna accept it. But I think one thing, how you talked about residence, right? And you knew you were gonna live on residence, like, while you were applying, right?
Yeah, that was like an experience I wanted to have, and
Okay.
also I just wasn't willing to commute
Back and forth
from Mississauga to Waterloo every
so,
single day. It's not impossible, but it's not something I wanted to do.
Which is fair, yeah. So I think I'm not as scared because I'm not going to be living on residence, right? Living on residence is something that may feel like the most scary part of starting university for some people. I'm not feeling that, but I know that a lot of people, that wasn't something that you were feeling. You were excited to go live that, and I know a lot of people may be, but some people may be forced into having to, right?
Yeah.
Because of the distance. I don't think that should stop you from pursuing what you want to do in the future, even though if you may have different reasons. But besides residence, one thing that I'm really scared about, and as much as I'm not scared about making friends, because I am a very social person, but I'm just scared that, like, the people are gonna be mean. Like, the people are gonna be like, don't want to make friends, don't want to be friends, don't want to be friendly. Because I'm a very friendly person. But were people friendly when you went to school?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Okay, so, like, when I did Frosh, there's, like, I think it's 2nd or 3rd year students who run the Frosh for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'll be in groups based on, like, your residence house or whatever, and, like, you get to meet everybody on your floor, and those people are, like, a good point of contact. And then you also have, like, your floor person who's, like, an older student who, like, kind of oversees everything.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, people aren't, like, rude per se. I didn't find them to be rude. Everybody's, like, fairly nice. But it's definitely not a high school environment. It's not a mean girl environment, for sure. Like, everybody's, like, adults. Like, I'm here to get a degree. Like, you want to drink? Let's go drink. You trying to hang out? Let's hang out. Like, it's so easy to make friends in your classes, especially.
Mm-hmm. And did you join any clubs?
Not at Laurier, because I was only there for 4 seconds.
Okay.
I mean, I also I also didn't join any clubs at York though, because I was very much get on the bus, go to school, go to class, leave for the bus, go to work.
Also, you had work, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true, too.
I mean, I did hang out with my friends, like, in York Lanes.
Mm-hmm.
York Lanes is like a little, like, shopping mall at York.
I feel like that's something that... Thanks for the fun fact.
Sorry.
I feel like that's something that definitely everybody going into university is scared about. I don't think it's just me. It's just scary knowing that you're going into something alone. Like, when you're going from middle school to high school, you know that you're going to have, you know, a group of people that are going to be transferring to the same high school as you. But when it's in university, yes, that could be the same thing. But
Majority of the people are new.
Yeah, and majority of people are new. Everybody's doing their own thing. And sometimes you don't want to interact with the people that you did in high school because you're trying to grow out of that, you know, high school mentality, trying to finally turn into an adult, trying to figure out what you want to do. That's okay. And, like, honestly, the way I was thinking about it originally is because I was talking to a couple of my friends that want to go to the same school that I do. At the same time as I'm thinking, you know, yeah, they're going to be there. It's not going to be as scary. But then I also am like, I don't want to think like that because then I'm just going to stay in this little bubble. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I want to meet new people and I want to talk to people that are going to be within my program. And you know what I mean? Like, get to know new people. Especially getting to know people at that age is different than getting to know the people that you already know at the age you met them. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You're going to bond over different things. You're going to have different interests. Anyways, that's...
Also, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's not a bad thing to go to university with, like, your friends.
Oh,
like,
no, yeah.
I went to York with one of my best friends from high school,
mm-hmm.
and we had a great time together. We obviously weren't in the same classes.
Mm-hmm.
I think we might have taken, like, one class together, because we had, like, gen ed classes, but otherwise we would, like, meet up between classes, we would have lunch, and it wouldn't exclude any friends that I would make from my classes. Like, if I made a friend in one of my program classes, I'd be like, yo, like, we're gonna go get lunch, do you want to hang?
Mm-hmm.
I would text my friend, be like, yo, I'm bringing my friend from class, like, and she's like, yeah, just, like, come chill. But that's the thing, like, you have to have good friends that you're coming to school with who can embrace, like, your new friends.
Yeah, that's very true. One big thing also that I want to say is do not accept the university just because your friends are going to it.
Yeah.
You're going to regret it. I'm telling you, you will. Because maybe it just happened to happen that you and your friend want to go to the same, you know, university or college and go into the same program. But if you're doing it just out of fear of being lonely, that is not going to end well, I'm telling you. I know that we keep saying university, all this university talk. But that's why we started the video saying post-secondary. Because we're not here to try to say, you know, this is what's going to happen after high school. We're just saying this is what she went through, and this is what my chosen pathway is. Our cousin, her little sister, she chose to do something completely different, follow her artsy dreams and go into hairstyling, and that turned out amazing for her as well. Like, don't be afraid just because of your family also. Don't go into something just because your family wants you to go into it. I know that in certain cultures, you know, it's whatever your parents want you to do is what you have to go into. Trust me, try to break that generational curse. Just try to, because I would hate to see other people and, like, my friends as well have to be forced into going into something just because their parents want them to, and then just hate it in the future and feel like you wasted 4, 5, 6 years of your life, you know? Even I know in a lot of cultures it's common to become a doctor. Like, that's not just a few years, that's like 10 to 15 years of school, you know? Like, that's something you really have to be prepared for. So that's also something to keep in mind. Also,
just to speak on that, it is very hard when you are 18, 19 to do that, to stand up to your parents about your, like, academic future. It was extremely hard for me. It affected me in a very massive way, but doing so set me up for success. You know, you still live under their roof, and we're not saying to defy your parents.
No.
We're saying if you have a path that you've thought out and you've made like a clear decision. It's not like you're saying, I don't want to go to school anymore and that's it. No, you've thought about this, you've made a clear decision, and you're able to explain it to them properly that this is why you're making the decisions that you're making. It is very important because this is your future. You're 17, you're 18, you're still young, yes, but these moments are defining moments for your future, because in 5 years, when you're done school, you're no longer going to be 18. You're going to be an adult, and then where will you be in that time? You can't think about just the moment, and it's very hard for your parents who love you and have raised you since you were a teeny tiny baby to not see anything more than just right now feeling that you're throwing your life away. You need to be able to explain that in 5 to 10 years from now, where am I going to be if I make the decision now? You need to be able to explain that. You need to be able to articulate yourself properly.
That's true. And even if, sometimes those things lead to arguments, lead to being kicked out, stuff like that. And I know that that's a fear of some people. At the same time, you really have to think about yourself the same way that you were saying. You have to think about it, and you have to try to find a way to figure it out. Because the worst thing that you could do is regret wasting the time that you're young to build your future. And I'm not saying you can't build your future when you get older, but a lot of people want to start their life when they get older, so they use their younger years to go to school, or not even go to school, just figure out what they want in their future. Yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that we're not trying to say, going to university, that's the only thing that you should go into. It's just her personal experience and my personal experience to happen.
Okay, yeah, she just said, we're not here to tell you go to university, you have to go to university. Like, university specifically is great. Okay, in my opinion now, university is great. I love academics though. That's my thing. I love books, essays. That's my thing. I love that. However, if I personally feel, and parents, if you're watching, don't get mad. Try to understand. If you're not going to be a lawyer, or a doctor, or a CPA, or a scientist, or anything in fields of that where you need a very vast academic journey, then I would suggest to consider your options, such as college. College is not a dirty word. It is, in fact, a very good option. Trade schools, very good options. Even if you're not going into like a trade, like, for example, construction. I honestly, electrician. I don't really know that many trade options.
I don't know.
Yeah, but there's so many other options that you can step into. Like, if that is like, if you're more of a hands-on career type person is what you're stepping into, I'm saying you do not need to go to university for that. Unless you want to further yourself down the line. However, you can still even go to college for those things. Like, I am a big advocate for college now that I'm done school, solely because in the world that we live in right now, experience and hands-on experience at that is so important.
10 times more important than a degree.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like, internships, apprenticeships, sign up for all of that. Sign up for all of it, whether you're in university or you're in college. Like, those things are so important, because I'm telling you, 8 out of 10 times, if you apply for a job, depending on what it is, like, if you can already say that you know how to do, or you understand programming, coding, how to use specific softwares, people will hire you because of that over somebody who's never touched a program or software ever. You're bringing something to the table also that will help them further your career with them, opposed to starting from scratch. And I get that. That sounds bad, but that's just how I see it in the world right now. Like, I'm not even gonna front about that.
And I agree with you. And honestly, if I wasn't going into law, I don't think that I would even waste the money, nor would I waste my time going to university. And I know that that would probably have an effect, as we said, on, family. It would probably, because especially in our culture, or in not even our culture, in our family, they all think about, let's just go straight into university. And I don't mean anything bad about that. It's just, that's what they think is the setup plan for you after high school.
But I think that also comes from a place where they didn't have those opportunities.
The opportunity, yeah. But then at the same time, nowadays, also with you knowing that now after going through university, right, is that college has so many opportunities just like university. And for example, nursing, there's a lot of colleges nowadays that will give you the degree for 10 times less the price, on top of that for the exact same education and more hands-on learning. That's the thing. College gives you a lot of hands-on learning, and I'm learning that through my brother's girlfriend. She is doing nursing, and she chose to do it at a college that gives her a degree. And the amount of hands-on learning that she's getting from there with placement, and I'm not saying that you're not going to get that at university, it's just, if that university degree is so important to you, then go ahead and do it. It's your life. But at the same time, if you're worried college is going to give you less than university, that should not be your main concern.
Yeah.
That is not a way to differentiate which pathway you should take. And also, don't think that it makes you stupider. Don't think that it makes you sound like you're less educated. Like, no, it's not like that. If college is not right for your friends, if college is not what they're putting out there, beautiful. If college is not what they're putting out there in high school, because I know especially in my high school, a lot of the resources are geared towards university, right? They want to talk about the pathway of university, but at the same time,
hasn't that changed though as the time's gone on? Like,
not really. They gear a lot more towards university than they do about anything else, and it's honestly sad to see, because I feel like the people that really want to go into trades, go into like hair college, go into something like that, right? They don't have the proper resources to do it, or they're not given it in high school.
Oh, you said that just now, and I want to say that. I want to say something real quick, because my cousin, our brother's girlfriend is doing her nursing with Humber, and she's doing a phenomenal job, and she's getting so much experience, and she's becoming a nurse. My sister went to a college for her cosmetology, her hair stuff, and she's a badass colorist.
Literally.
It literally doesn't matter. You just have to find what works for you, the program that's fit for you, and you make it badass.
Exactly.
You make it badass.
Exactly. I actually was having a conversation with someone the other day that looked at me and said, "You don't need to go into university for law." And I was like, huh? Because I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, because no one tells you the alternatives.
Right? But there was no alternative. I just don't know what he was getting at.
Oh, okay.
But I think that if you have if you have something as it, like, if you want to go into law, if you want to go to being a doctor, if you want to, I think you need for a police officer, you need to go to university, right?
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't know. But
again, I just like academics. That's why I chose the route that I did.
Also, look into your program and see the options that you have, because only know what you're given, right? And what you know is go on this website, look at the universities, look at the programs, find the one that suits you best.
Yeah.
But no, like, search up what you want to do and do the research, because I bet you it's going to benefit you in the future. It wasn't easy for me to just go in and pick a random program that was going to benefit me in law school. You know, I had to go to the open houses, which is still a really good thing to do. Even right now, if you haven't accepted your offer, even if you have, just go and feel out the campus as well, because that's where you're going to be spending your time. Go feel out the place that you're going to be studying. Go talk to people in the program. I know that most universities in Ontario are still emailing me about open houses, and I've gone to the ones of the universities that I applied to, and let me tell you, it made me make up my mind. It helped me make up my mind, because I was seeing what when I walked in there, I was like, I see what my life will be, right? I see what my life will be like, and I know it's not going to be the same for everyone, but I can get a glimpse into the future, right? And I think that that's a
okay. That's Oregon.
Anyways, I think that that's a really good resource to use for sure.
Go to every single open house.
Every single one. It doesn't even matter if you think that. I know that in Ontario, people think that the applications, the due dates for applications are over, but some schools are still accepting the applications.
Are they?
Yeah, some programs, some schools are still accepting them. So take a look and just keep your options open. Like, don't be so set on one thing. When I was looking into this in grade 11, I was like, yeah, no, I'm going here and I'm doing this. And then I got into grade 12 and I'm like, let me look around, because there are so many different things that I could do. And specifically into law, a lot of people I know take political science. A lot of people I've heard take political science as their undergrad. But then I wouldn't have known that philosophy is such a big part of law until I took a class in high school and then went ahead to go talk to the philosophy department of UTM. I'm not trying to brag about myself over here, but I went to go talk to the head of philosophy at UTM at the open house. And I got to understand, like, they told me about the different options. They told me about the classes that I'm going to take that are going to help me with the LSAT, the law school admission test. That is also a big thing that made me want to go to UTM.
I think the takeaway from that is, again, this just comes back to your future is in your hands, and your schools will, and your teachers, your guidance counselors, whoever, will only give you as much information as they're able to give you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do the research and you have to take it into your own hands. I know it may seem like a lot of responsibility, especially that you guys are still in high school, but you're about to leave high school and life's about to be lifing, because one thing I tell Mel all the time, your teachers may be on you right now to finish your assignments, get things done, remind you about due dates. I'm telling you, nobody is going to do that for you in university. Nobody is going to do that for you in college. You have an assignment, you got your syllabus, you know when all your midterms are, all your tests are, you know where you're going to have assignments or quizzes. They give you a date 3 months ahead of the date. You forget it, that is your problem, miss. Miss and sirs. This is your problem, because ain't nobody babysitting you in university. And I learned that very, very quickly in my first year, that it is very much my responsibility. If I'm going to be an adult, I better buck up and be an adult, because they're not asking you to be here.
Yeah.
You want to be here?
Take on responsibility.
Show up for your results.
And I know that I think of things a little bit differently because I have someone like you to give me the advice, to warn me, to tell me these things.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you don't, like, just listen to her. Like, this is what we're making this video about. Just listen to her and
you don't have a big sis? Let me be your big sis.
Exactly. And I'm just telling you, like, I've learned a lot of things talking to you and also talking to, like, the people at the open houses and stuff, of learning what the environment is going to be like. But I'm also not walking into this thinking, like, I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly No, it's all a learning process, and I know that, and I'm willing to take the steps to learn. And I think that you guys shouldn't walk into it thinking that, I'm fine, I know everything. Think of it like, walk in confidently, but also go in with an open mind. And remember that you're there to learn, and remember that you're there to learn new things as well. I think that's really important.
I am telling you from my own experience, do not be afraid to have fear. This is a wildly different chapter that you're going to have in your life. Obviously, some people are going to be more comfortable than other people. I stepped in wildly confident because I knew that the program I wanted was what I wanted. And I was excited to be on res. I was excited to start, be an adult. And that changed very quickly for me. It was like a big reality punch in my gut. But, don't let that fear also stop you. Mm-hmm. And from my experience, the amount of research that I did, that I've been encouraging Mel to do as well, sometimes when you get there, you realize that it's just not right. Mm-hmm. And I'm also not saying that if you get there and it doesn't feel right, give it a chance. But if you know early on that this is not actually what you wanted to sign up for, what I wish I knew then and wasn't so scared to ask was how to switch and or find something that fits for you in that school already. I panicked and got really stressed out and dropped all my classes and wanted to start fresh for a multitude of reasons. However, if I was guided by myself asking the correct questions to the correct people, I could have stayed in school and be replaced into a program that better aligned with my goals.
I know. Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. Like, I know I said I wanted to be a police officer. I obviously never did that.
Oh, I thought you were finished your point.
No, but like, you know, I went to school for my thing, and then I ended up doing a BA in communications at York, minoring in global economy and business corporate ethics, and I started working at the bank.
Fun fact, if you do exactly what she did, don't take too many science classes.
Okay, I like science. I'm a nerd. Leave me alone.
Yeah, her, who was it? Was it like the counselor? The guidance counselor?
It wasn't
What are they called?
Like my student advisor.
Yeah.
I had gone there in my close to starting my last year to make sure that I have all the required credits. I don't know why this is so funny for you.
This is so funny because I'm the opposite.
I wanted to make sure that I had like all the credits or I wasn't missing anything, and if I was missing anything, this was the year I was going to do to make up for it. And she was like, "Can you please stop taking science classes? They're no longer going towards your like graduating credits. You're taking too many science classes. Please stop." Because I had finished all my gen ed classes by second year.
Mm-hmm.
I just really like science.
So also just make sure that you're not taking too many of one class. That's a good advice tip. Maybe check in with your student advisor maybe every year, cause just to make sure you're not taking too many of the same class. Like
It wasn't a bad thing that I was. She was just advising me that any more science credits that I took wouldn't go to it wouldn't add up to the other credits that were missing for me to.
But imagine if she never told you that.
I would have but I was still, okay, hold on, wait a minute. The credits that I was missing in that last year were classes that I need to take in that last year. So I wasn't going to be missing any credits. I would have had all my credits by the time I finished that year to graduate.
They were just unnecessary?
Yeah, she said I was just taking unnecessary classes.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I get it.
Well.
I'm paying for them. So let me take my science classes. You have a problem?
Yeah, but she was just letting you know. She was just advising you, right?
Yeah,
That's what
she
she
was.
is, a student advisor. She's advising her students. So I also never wanted to take summer school because I thought that, you know, I want to enjoy my summer. Like, I don't care. I'll just do school in school. You know what I mean? In school time. But then I realized that I set myself up really, really, really well for grade 12 because I took summer school from since I was in grade 10 summer and onwards. And I started off by taking like the hardest classes in summer to ease up my schedule in person. And I took English in school in grade 10, but I took English online in grade 11. And that was the worst decision I could have made in my entire life because summer school wasn't like in-person summer school. It was online summer school. And online summer school was do at your own pace once again.
Mm-hmm.
And the way like honestly, I don't think I was responsible enough to be taking it. I was not reading the book. But what are you laughing? But honestly, all I'm going to say is that's exactly what you shouldn't be doing in university is not reading the book. Because now I'm in grade 12 English in person, and thankfully I have the sweetest teacher on planet Earth. But like she always tells us when we're in class, she's like, I know that you guys don't want to read the book. I know you guys are being forced to read the book. Don't be like me in university and read it in class, think you can get through 3 chapters in class, you know, like just do the reading. Be for real, just do the reading. I know it may be hard, but like even try out an audiobook. The audiobooks are nice. Sometimes your classes will provide you with the audiobook.
Okay, so
back on topic.
Okay, so I think we wanted to make this video so that all you other 12th graders out there who are feeling scared or feeling nervous or feeling not prepared, again, you're not alone.
Yeah.
And I was there at one point, and moving through it in a well thought out way will be very good for you. I know right now it may not feel that way, or that it's easy to get through, or that you can find a clear path out of it. Talk to somebody, anybody, If you feel like you don't have anyone to talk to, send us a message, drop a comment. I can help. Mel can help. You know, like, I think that's like what we want to do with this YouTube channel. Be able to, one, show you how we are together, and that even though there's an age gap, we can relate, and I can help her, and she does help me even at her age. And if you don't have that and you can't find it, come to us. We love to help. Also, if you're not a 12th grader and you're watching this and you're in 9th, 10th, or 11th, please use this as the opportunity to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
However, I will say also, when I was in 9th grade, the amount of times my career choice changed was so wild.
Yeah.
But I mean, I kind of always wanted to be in like the law field. I went from wanting to be a lawyer, then I wanted to be a forensic specialist, then I wanted to be a cop. There was a lot of things. I was going through a lot of things.
Or you may be like me, and since you were younger and you were 7, you watched Judge Judy and said, yep, I want to become a lawyer. Well, she was a judge, but you know what I mean. You get what I mean, in the legal field. And it kind of just stuck with me. And if that's also, you know, if that's something that happens to you, then that's great. But also, if you're one of those people, I know a lot of people in grade 12, a lot of people at my school that are still struggling to figure out what they want to go into. A gap year is not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, take the time, take as much time as you need. It's your life at the end of the day. Take as much time as you need. Figure it out. Don't rush into something that you're not sure about just because you want to fit in with the crowd and you know, act like your life, like you have your life set. I'm still trying to figure it out too. Even though I know that I'm going into, I know what I want to go into. Like, it doesn't mean that I'm set. Like, I still have to go through 7 years of school. Who knows what's going to change between there, right? And I have to keep an open mind to remember that as well.
Also, when you take a gap year, take it mindfully, make it productive.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a fun year.
Yeah, I don't mean that.
Yeah. But yes, if you are not in the 12th grade and you're 9th, 10th, 11th, use this as the opportunity to see that, you know, start thinking about it. Figure out what you like in high school. Take classes that will set you up for success.
Mm-hmm.
If you are unclear or something maybe piques your interest, find a class that aligns with that. Like when Mel took philosophy, she realized that she wants to take a philosophy program instead of a poli-sci program in university, because that's what people told her that they've taken when they go to law.
Mm-hmm.
But this video should be helpful for everybody to, just as a reminder, take the time to research what it is that you're looking for. Remember that this is your future. You're 17, 18 today, but in 4 or 5 years, you're going to be 22, 23. If that math is wrong, I told you already I can't do it without a calculator. Think about where you're going to be when you're done school. And if you're not quite there yet, take the time now while you have it to figure it out. I'm not saying your whole high school career has to be about figuring out what you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
Take the time, have fun, but also keep it at the back of your mind that, you know, 4 years of high school goes by very, very fast, and you're going to be in 12th grade scrambling to try to figure out what it is that you want to get to. So, you know.
All my fellow 12th graders out there, you guys know.
You guys are okay. If you don't know, you'll be okay. If you do know, you'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you start school and you still don't know, it is all going to be okay.
Yeah.
Okay? Just be mindful. Be mindful. That's all you have to do.
Take a deep breath and move on.
Yeah. Take it one step at a time, but also think a little bit into the future of where you want to see yourself, you know? But yeah, that's kind of it for this video. We just wanted to, you know, take the time to reach out because it is April and June is just around the corner. And those of you accepting will be accepting soon, or waiting until June to make the best possible informed decision of the, you know, schools you've been accepted to thus far, or still applying to other options if you've changed your mind. But yeah, we just wanted to make sure that you guys know that she's out here not panicking, but also considering her options, even though she has somewhat of a clear path.
Yeah.
And that I thought I had a clear path, and then turned out I didn't have a clear path, and everything worked out for me fine. So, take the time.
Yep.
Also, before we end it, I switched over mid-video because my artwork is actually a 3-part wall series. It's a big scorpion, Again, I'm a Scorpio. And then on the side are going to be two, like, 3D snakes, like, coming out of the canvas, which they're obviously not because how am I put on the wall? But
Thanks for clarifying.
but yeah, the snakes are done. Scorpios are done. Scorpion is done. But yeah, if you have any questions, you have any concerns, you want to know anything else about my journey, or you have any questions for Mel about what she's doing, where she's done her research, what school she's visited, stuff like that, drop comments below. We're here for you. Send us a message on our IG as well. Will be in the description so you can see it if that's better for you. We also have an email in our IG. So send your questions anywhere that you feel the most comfortable for. And why does it look so weird on that area? I gotta paint it.
Just
Anyway,
reach out. Use this
Yeah.
as an outlet. You know.
we're here. If you
We
feel
are.
uncomfortable talking to your peers or your parents or your older siblings, because I understand how daunting that is. I experienced the same thing. Reach out to us.
This is a judgment-free zone.
Yeah. Also a helpful zone. We understand how difficult this time is. She's living it right now, and I've experienced it already. Reach out. Let us know if you feel comfortable to do so. And then maybe we can address this in another video before you guys make your final acceptances and stuff, so we can help clear the air. But we'll also send you personal messages responding. We're not going to make you wait like 2 weeks for a
Yeah.
response. That's terrible.
I think that's about it
Yeah, I think so too.
for now.
For now. Mel's prom dress. We're still waiting for it. I hope you enjoyed that blurred out video that we gave you in the last one. With no color and no visual of the dress. We're doing this so it doesn't ruin the effect when the big reveal comes for prom day.
Yes. It's gonna be worth it, okay? It's gonna be worth it, okay?
Yes.
I'm not being weird. It's just gonna be worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I'm Big Sis.
I'm Lil Sis.
And don't forget to share this with your friends. If they're you think they may be feeling this or you're not sure, share with them anyway so they can listen and watch. Turn your notifications on, please. Why haven't you done it already? Subscribe if you haven't done that already so you can also hear it. Drop comments below as per usual. And
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.